Before diving into this incredible story, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell. Every story here has something to say, and you won't want to miss a single one. The morning sun was barely breaking through the New York skyscrapers, illuminating the streets already bustling with the incessant hubbub of passers-by and the roar of cars. Through this organized chaos, public buses moved slowly forward, each carrying its share of lives and stories. Among the passengers, Monica Johnson, a young black woman in her 30s, stood by the door, holding tightly to the metal bar to keep from wobbling. Monica worked as an assistant at a renowned Manhattan law firm. Her life was punctuated by responsibilities, strict schedules, and silent ambitions. She always wore a polite smile, even when life's challenges seemed to weigh heavily on her shoulders. That morning, like so many others, she was deep in thought, files to file, meetings to prepare for, and the secret dream of one day being able to hold a position of responsibility. As the bus moved slowly through the dense traffic, an elderly woman entered, frail and wobbly. Her white hair framed a face marked by years, and her eyes reflected both fatigue and a surprising gentleness. Monica noticed her immediately. Without thinking, she made a simple but meaningful gesture. She stood up and gave up her seat. The old lady sat down, surprised and moved, and murmured a weak but sincere, "Thank you, my dear. You are very kind." At that precise moment, Monica had no idea that a simple gesture of courtesy would set in motion a chain of events that would transform her life forever. A casual encounter on a crowded bus would become the starting point for a story of mentorship, discovery, and unexpected opportunities. The bus continued its noisy, bumpy ride toward the city center. Monica stood for a few moments, watching the old woman sitting across from her. She seemed to be enjoying the quiet moment, her wrinkled hands clutching her purse like a precious treasure. After a few minutes of silence, the old woman spoke in a soft but firm voice. "You are very polite, young lady. That's not so common these days." Monica smiled shyly and replied, "That's normal, ma'am. Everyone deserves a little respect, don't they?" The old lady nodded, and a faint smile lit up her tired face. "Yes, that's right. My name is Eleanor Whitman." "Nice to meet you, I'm Monica Johnson," Monica replied, suddenly feeling curious about this mysterious woman. Eleanor watched Monica closely, as if trying to pierce her soul. "You work in the city, don't you? There's a certain determination about you." Monica, surprised by this intuition, replied with an embarrassed smile, "Yes. I'm an assistant in a law firm. Nothing very extraordinary, but I'm trying to progress." Eleanor nodded, visibly impressed. "You know, sometimes the business world can be cruel, but it rewards those with courage and perseverance." Monica felt a comforting warmth wash over her. There was something different about this woman. Her presence wasn't just pleasant, it was inspiring. Without knowing it, Monica had just met someone who would become a guide in her life, someone who would see in her a potential that Monica herself hadn't yet suspected. When the bus reached the next station, Monica prepared to get off, but Eleanor held her back slightly. "Before you go, Monica, take a moment to consider this. Unexpected encounters can change a life. I believe ours is only just beginning." Monica stepped off the bus, a slight shiver of excitement running down her spine. She didn't yet know how much this simple encounter would change her daily life. The next morning, Monica couldn't help but think back to her meeting with Eleanor Whitman. The old woman's words still echoed in her mind, "Unexpected encounters can change a life." To her surprise, as she boarded the same bus that morning, she saw Eleanor sitting by the door, a warm smile on her face. This time, Eleanor invited her to sit next to her. "I'm glad you're here," Eleanor said, adjusting her shawl. "Yesterday, you did something for me that few people would do. You have kindness in your heart." Monica blushed slightly. "It's just normal, ma'am. I guess I was raised to respect others." Eleanor tilted her head and observed Monica closely. "You know, Monica, this respect and attention to others is rare and precious. I myself have often met people who are talented but too modest to believe in themselves." Puzzled, Monica asked, "What do you mean, madam?" Eleanor sighed softly, a mixture of nostalgia and wisdom in her eyes. I've worked in business and entrepreneurship my entire life. I've seen careers destroyed by a lack of self-belief, and brilliant ones begin with a simple encouragement. Monica listened attentively, fascinated by this woman's stories. Eleanor began to recount her own life, her travels, her successes, but also her mistakes and losses. Every word seemed loaded with a lesson, and Monica felt she was learning more in a few minutes with Eleanor than in years in her office. You sound like you have ambitions, Monica, Eleanor continued. But sometimes it takes more than a degree or hard work. You have to seize opportunities, listen to those who have already traveled this path, and dare to believe in yourself. Monica felt her heart beat faster. These words awakened a mixture of hope and fear within her. She wanted to believe in her dreams, but she often doubted her abilities. Eleanor, unknowingly, had just planted a seed that would soon sprout. When the bus arrived at Monica's station, Eleanor smiled at her and said, "Take some time to think about it, Monica. One day, you'll see that these small encounters can be the beginning of big transformations. And I believe we still have much to share." Monica stepped off the bus with a strange but exhilarating feeling that her life had just taken an unexpected turn. She didn't know it yet, but this conversation was just the first step toward a change that would transform her life forever. A few days later, Monica boarded the bus with a sense of anticipation. She knew Eleanor was waiting for her. The old woman waved, and Monica sat down next to her, curious about what this meeting held. "Monica," Eleanor began, "I'd like to offer you something a little unusual." Monica frowned slightly, puzzled. "What, madam?" Eleanor smiled, a mischievous twinkle in her eye. "I sense potential in you that few people recognize. I'd like to invite you to have coffee with me after work. We could talk about your plans, your dreams, and perhaps some opportunities." Monica blinked in surprise. "Me? To talk about projects? I'm just an assistant." "That's exactly why," Eleanor replied calmly. "The most promising people often don't realize their worth. Perhaps I can help you see what you have inside." Despite her shyness, Monica felt a surge of excitement. Accepting the invitation meant stepping out of her comfort zone, but deep down she felt it was an opportunity she couldn't pass up. After work, they met in a small, elegant cafe, away from the hustle and bustle of the city. The walls were decorated with portraits of former entrepreneurs and inspirational quotes. Eleanor chose a table by the window, letting in the light of the setting sun. "Monica," Eleanor said, sipping her tea, "I'm not going to lie to you, the world I've known can be harsh and demanding. But it also offers incredible opportunities to those who dare to seize them." Monica listened, fascinated. Eleanor continued to recount her past, how she had built a successful business, overcome setbacks, and created a network of influential contacts. Her words were filled with realism but also hope. "I'm telling you all this because I want you to know that your choices today can transform your life tomorrow." Eleanor placed her hands on the warm mug and stared at Monica intensely. "You're smart, hardworking, and most importantly, you have that heart that respects others. Those qualities are rare, Monica. I want to help you use them." Monica felt her mind open. She realized that this simple coffee wasn't just a pleasant conversation, it was the beginning of a mentorship, a guidance that could change the course of her life. She silently accepted, with a mixture of apprehension and excitement, to let herself be guided by this extraordinary woman. Over the next few weeks, Monica and Eleanor met regularly at the downtown cafe. Each meeting became a special occasion, where Monica could listen to Eleanor's fascinating stories and receive her wise advice. Eleanor shared her past experiences, the challenges of running a business, the mistakes she had made, and the successes that had followed through perseverance and risk-taking. Monica drank in her words, fascinated by the woman's strength and wisdom. "You know, Monica," Eleanor often said, playing with her teacup, "many people have incredible talents, but they don't know how to use them. They doubt, hesitate, and sometimes life goes by without them realizing their potential." Monica nodded silently. She recognized herself in those words. She had always worked hard, but a part of her doubted her ability to truly change her life. With Eleanor, she was beginning to see that those doubts could be overcome. One day, while they were watching the comings and goings of passers-by through the large window of the cafe, Eleanor asked an unexpected question. "Monica, have you ever thought about what you would accomplish if you knew nothing could stop you?" Monica thought for a moment. I'd like to have a role where I can really influence things, help others, and prove that my skills are worth something. But I don't know how to get there." Eleanor smiled. "That's exactly why I'm here. You have the drive and the heart, Monica. You just need someone to guide you and show you the possible paths. And I believe I can be that person." From that moment on, their relationship changed. Eleanor became not only a mentor, but almost a grandmother figure to Monica. She offered her practical exercises, reading material, and even role-playing exercises to prepare Monica for important professional meetings. Each conversation strengthened Monica's confidence. She began to believe in her abilities, to feel empowered to take initiative and aim higher. Eleanor, for her part, saw in Monica a rare potential, ready to blossom with a little guidance and encouragement. This bond, born from a simple gesture on a bus a few weeks earlier, was turning into a powerful partnership, capable of transforming the trajectory of Monica's life. And Eleanor knew that the time would soon come to offer her something concrete, a real opportunity that could change her professional and personal life. A few weeks after their regular meetings, Eleanor invited Monica to lunch at a chic restaurant, away from the hustle and bustle of the city. The air was filled with the refined aromas of carefully prepared dishes, but Monica was too focused to really notice them. Her mind was occupied by curiosity. What topic did Eleanor want to discuss this time? "Monica," Eleanor began, gently setting down her glass of water, "I want to talk to you about a project I've had in mind for a long time." Monica tilted her head, attentive. "You know how much I've always believed in the potential of young women," Eleanor continued. "I've decided to launch a philanthropic initiative to help those like you who have incredible skills but haven't yet had the opportunity to shine." Monica's eyes widened. "Me? I could be part of it?" Eleanor smiled. "Exactly. I'd like you to lead part of this project. I want you to make decisions, to be in contact with important partners, and to have real responsibility." Monica felt a mixture of excitement and fear. The opportunity was enormous, and she knew she would be tested. I don't know if I'm ready for this," she whispered. Eleanor placed her hand on Monica's, gently but firmly. "You are ready. You have the heart, the intelligence, and the discipline. This project requires more than skill, Monica, it requires courage and determination. And I know you have them." Monica took a deep breath. Fear of failure mingled with the excitement of novelty. She realized that this proposal could truly transform her life. "Okay, Ms. Eleanor," she said finally, her voice trembling slightly but her conviction rising. "I want to try." Eleanor smiled at her proudly. "Very well. You'll see, Monica, this project will be as much an adventure for you as it will be a chance to make a difference in the lives of others. And I'll be there to guide you every step of the way." At that precise moment, Monica felt an immense weight lifted from her shoulders. For the first time in a long time, she felt as if her work and efforts were being recognized, and that her life was taking a turn towards something greater than she had dared to imagine. As they finished lunch, Monica knew that today marked the beginning of a new chapter, not only in her career, but in her entire life. A simple gesture on a bus had opened the door to an opportunity she never thought possible. On the first day Monica was officially scheduled to begin work on the philanthropic project, she woke up with a mixture of excitement and anxiety. Her apartment suddenly felt too small, too quiet, as if the entire city was waiting to evaluate her. Arriving at the cafe where Eleanor was waiting to finalize the first details, Monica felt her hands tremble slightly. She wondered if she was truly capable of handling such a responsibility. Her thoughts were filled with questions. What if I made mistakes? What if I disappointed Eleanor? What if I wasn't good enough for the role? Eleanor, always punctual and radiant, greeted him with a reassuring smile. "Monica," she said, placing a comforting hand on his arm, I see that worry on your face. It's normal. Everyone feels that way before doing something new and important. Monica took a deep breath. I know, but I'm scared, Ms. Eleanor. What if I'm not up to it? Eleanor looked at her intensely and gently. Monica, it's not your past or your fears that determine your success. It's your choices and your determination. You have all the qualities necessary to succeed. But you must dare to believe in yourself. Eleanor's words had a calming but also motivating effect. Monica felt a new strength awaken within her. She realized that her doubts were natural, but they shouldn't paralyze her. All right. Monica murmured, clutching her cup of tea. I'll try. I'll give it my best shot. Eleanor smiled, satisfied. That's all I ask. Never forget, Monica, every great achievement begins with a single step, and you've already taken that step by accepting this opportunity. As the morning progressed, Eleanor guided Monica through the initial contacts and decisions she needed to make for the project. Each step was new and sometimes intimidating, but Monica felt her confidence grow. She understood that fear was an indicator that she was stepping outside her comfort zone, and that this was exactly where growth happened. Leaving the cafe that day, Monica felt transformed. She knew the road ahead would be long and fraught with challenges, but for the first time, she felt confident in herself and her abilities. And deep down, she felt that her life had just shifted into something greater, thanks to a simple act of kindness on a bus a few weeks earlier. In the days that followed, Monica threw herself into Eleanor's philanthropic project. Every morning, she arrived at the temporary office the old woman had rented for the occasion, a bright space with large bay windows overlooking the bustling city. The walls were covered with inspirational paintings and strategic notes scribbled on whiteboards. Monica quickly found herself faced with concrete challenges, contacting influential partners, organizing events, writing presentations to attract investors, and planning programs to support ambitious young women. At first, she felt overwhelmed by the amount of responsibility and the complexity of the decisions she had to make. One afternoon, while preparing a crucial dossier for a meeting with potential partners, Monica felt a wave of doubt. What if I'm wrong? What if I fail to convince these people to support us, she thought. Eleanor entered the room, smiling. Monica, she said, sitting down next to her, look at everything you've already accomplished. Every contact you've made, every presentation you've prepared, these are successes. And there will be many more. Fear is normal, but don't let it dictate your actions. Monica took a deep breath and reread her brief. Encouraged by Eleanor, she went into the meeting with confidence. To her surprise, the partners were impressed by her clarity, preparation, and passion. She managed to secure significant commitments for the project. This success boosted her confidence. Monica realized that doubts and fears were part of the process, but they could be overcome with determination and preparation. Each small victory fueled her motivation and vision for the future. As the weeks went by, she began to feel transformed. The person who had once hesitated to give up her seat on the bus was now able to make important decisions, manage responsibilities, and inspire others around her. Eleanor, watching Monica with pride, once whispered, "You see, Monica. It all starts with a simple gesture, and look how far you've come. You're becoming the person you were meant to be." Monica smiled inwardly. She knew she was only at the beginning of an extraordinary journey, but for the first time, she felt that her life was truly heading in the direction she had always hoped. An act of kindness, a simple moment of respect on a bus, had triggered a profound and lasting transformation. A few months after the philanthropic project officially launched, Monica began to see the tangible impact of her work. The young women supported by the initiative saw their opportunities expand. Some obtained internships at prestigious companies, others received scholarships to continue their studies. The results exceeded her expectations and strengthened her confidence. One morning, Eleanor walked into the office with a broad smile and a local newspaper in hand. "Monica, look at this," she exclaimed. On the front page, an article highlighted the project and congratulated Monica for her key role. The media had begun to take notice of the impact of their initiative, and the testimonies of the beneficiaries made the story even more moving. Monica felt a new emotion wash over her: pride, gratitude, and a little disbelief. "This is incredible," she murmured. "I never imagined it would attract this much attention." Eleanor looked at her proudly. "You've worked hard, Monica. You've shown courage and perseverance. Recognition is a natural consequence of your efforts, but remember, this is just the beginning." Shortly after, Monica was invited to participate in a conference on women's empowerment and social entrepreneurship. For the first time, she spoke in front of a large audience, sharing her journey, challenges, and vision. She inspired many attendees, and her speech was praised as authentic and moving. The young woman who, just months earlier, had doubted her abilities, was now a respected and influential figure. Partners, the media, and the community itself were beginning to see Monica as an emerging leader. For Monica, the lesson was clear: a simple gesture, like giving up her seat on a bus, had opened the door to a series of encounters and opportunities that would transform her life. And she knew that her responsibility now was to keep moving forward, to help others, and never lose the humility and generosity that had guided her first steps. Eleanor, watching Monica prepare for her next lecture, whispered to her, "You have become a living example that kindness and courage can change the world. Someone others will follow with confidence and inspiration." Monica smiled inwardly. She knew this was just the beginning of an even bigger journey, but she felt ready to take on any challenges that lay ahead. As the philanthropic project continued to grow, Monica and Eleanor found themselves one evening in the cafe's office-turned-workspace. The dim lighting created an intimate atmosphere, conducive to sharing secrets. "Monica," Eleanor began, placing a cup of tea in front of her, "it's time I revealed something I've never shared with anyone, not even those closest to me." Monica, intrigued, listened attentively. "Do you know why I've always sought to mentor promising young women like you?" Eleanor asked with an enigmatic smile. Monica nodded silently. "Because, in my youth, I witnessed a lot of injustice," Eleanor continued. "I saw incredible talent go unnoticed, simply because the right opportunities weren't available to them. I dedicated my life to building a successful business and helping those the world seemed to forget, but not just with money or words. I wanted to spot potential, nurture it, and guide it." Monica felt an intense emotion rise within her. You're doing all this to give a chance to those who, like me, might never have had this opportunity?" Eleanor nodded. "Exactly. And you're different, Monica. You have that rare combination of heart, intelligence, and determination. I saw that from our first meeting on that bus. It was a simple gesture, and yet it showed me your worth." Monica was silent for a moment, fully realizing the magnitude of this revelation. Everything she had accomplished so far, her successes, her personal transformation, her recognition, came in part from Eleanor's foresight and generosity. "I never imagined that such a simple gesture could trigger all this," Monica whispered, moved. Eleanor smiled fondly. "That's the beauty of small actions. They can change lives in unimaginable ways. And I wanted you to know that your journey isn't just your own, it's also a reflection of the trust and vision I've chosen to place in you." That night, Monica realized that her encounter with Eleanor had not been a coincidence. Everything had meaning, and her life had been transformed not only by an act of kindness, but also by the vision of a woman who had decided to trust her potential. Monica felt a mixture of gratitude, humility, and determination. She wanted, in turn, to become a source of inspiration for others. A few months after Eleanor's revelation, Monica had fully embraced the philanthropic project. She was now leading multiple programs, overseeing teams, and confidently making strategic decisions. Every success, big or small, strengthened her confidence and her vision for the future. On the day of the official opening of a new center dedicated to training ambitious young women, Monica spoke before a large audience of partners, beneficiaries, and members of the press. Her voice was firm, her gaze confident, and every word reflected her journey, her values, and her commitment. "Today," she said, "we are not just celebrating one center or one program. We are celebrating the courage, determination, and potential of each of us. We are celebrating the opportunity for every young woman to believe in herself and transform her life." The applause was warm and sincere. Monica felt a deep satisfaction. She knew that all this had been possible thanks to a simple gesture of respect and kindness towards an old woman on a bus, who had become a mentor and guide. After the ceremony, Eleanor approached Monica and placed her hand on her shoulder. "You have become a living example, Monica. An example that kindness, courage, and hard work can truly change the world." Monica smiles, moved. "It all started with a simple gesture, and now I want to help other people experience the same transformation." And that's exactly what she did. Monica began mentoring ambitious young women, passing on the lessons she had learned, the importance of perseverance, self-belief, and generosity. She understood that life could be transformed by unexpected encounters, simple gestures, and faith in the potential of others. As she looked at the young women who would benefit from her program, Monica felt a deep gratitude for Eleanor, for the bus that had started it all, and for how far she had come. She knew her life would never be the same again, and that she was now ready to create a future where every act of kindness could create lasting and extraordinary change.